Kid Trunks and Goten are two characters that I've come to really like in the series, especially because Kid Trunks developed his own personality rather than becoming a carbon copy of his future self. Despite them being at the right age to be in action during the Buu saga, however, we didn't really see them utilized much in Super, and it even got to the point where they pushed back their puberty marker and started making up excuses as to why they're not even aging in the show. Saiyan physiology, all that jazz, yada yada. The fact of the matter was, Teen Gohan wasn't even a teen when he defeated Cell, and puberty started to hit him hard. But I digress. Today's story is a continuation of an April Fool's What If, and for that, I chose the nutty proposal of what if Kid Trunks and Goten time traveled. This is a story that's made it all the way into Super, and has in fact almost reached the point in time where they initially stole the time machine and began this what if scenario. Now, if you're new to this channel, part 1 is right above my head. Please go check that out, leave a like and subscribe, and leave comments below on your thoughts and feelings on the chapter. In our last part, we saw the God of Destruction finally awaken, only to find that he's been greeted by 4 Super Saiyan gods, all of which are very excited to have a chance to take a swing at him. Upon discovering that some of the Saiyans were time travelers, however, Beerus was not pleased and was set to destroy all of them until the Master Chef skills of both Trunks and Goten kicked into action, cooking them a luxurious meal that definitely satisfied Beerus' tooth. The 2 hybrid Saiyans had indeed thought of ways to preserve their own life if Beerus happened to be upset by learning that they're time travelers, and the idea worked. After the meal, however, Beerus caught someone gazing at him. It was none other than Vegeta, the only Saiyan there that he happened to recognize. He chose him as his opponent, and the 2 of them clashed. Vegeta put up quite the fight. Having gained the Super Saiyan God ability at the end of the Buu saga, years ahead of when he normally would, and on top of that, being trained for months under Whis, he was significantly more powerful than Goku during the Battle of Gods arc, and it showed. Vegeta put up a very valiant fight against Beerus, but the God of Destruction was still too powerful. He was eventually defeated, but with Beerus being pretty satisfied. And he wasn't the only one. As he was sitting there, lording over his own power, a voice came from behind him, someone stating that it was exciting. He turned around and saw Zeno, the grand leader of everything. With time travelers in their midst, how are they going to manage to get out of this? Let's find out. Lord Zeno, what a pleasure to have you here. What brings you to my lowly little planet? Stammered Beerus as he tried quickly to compose himself. Whis quickly made his way to Beerus' side. The 4 Saiyans all congregated together, with Goku leaning in to whisper. Hey, Trunks, Goten, who's that supposed to be? Oh, right, that's Lord Zeno. I think he's Beerus' boss? Maybe the boss of everyone or whatever, I don't know. It always confused me. I think we only met him once. Whoa, Beerus' boss? He must be really strong. You think I could punch him? Vegeta, you already got your turn. It's my turn next. Kakarot, I understand you're quite the clown, but even you have to realize how stupid of a decision that is. Yeah, Dad, I don't think he's really strong in the sense that he could punch you really hard. He's strong in the sense that he can just destroy entire universes in an instant. He's kind of done it before, too. But he does like you. I distinctly remember him enjoying meeting you at one point. So I can go up and meet him and be his friend? Okay, bye! Goku immediately sped off and started hurrying straight over to Zeno. Before Beerus and Whis could even really react, he was there, shaking Zeno's hand without him being able to react either. The GP was staring very sternly at Goku, but Zeno seemed to be enjoying it. The handshake was so furious that his entire body was being lifted and shook around, but he was smiling and laughing the entire time. Wow, this is really exciting! Who are you? Hi, I'm Goku. What's your name? It's really nice to meet you, Goku. I'm Zeno. Beads of sweat were starting to come down Beerus' forehead, and even Whis was a little concerned. Beerus, you remember, doesn't even really know who Goku is. They merely shared a meal together at one point, and that was about it as of this point, so this all came as a complete shock to him. And what happened next made him even more terrified. Wow, and you're Beerus' boss, huh? It's really nice to meet you, Zenny. The air became dead silent. Nobody moved. The only sound that could be heard was Vegeta slapping his forehead off in the distance, hearing the mistake that Goku had just made. And then Beerus spoke up. Did you just call the Lord of everything, Zenny? Are you insane? Goku had turned to see Beerus berate him, and, after realizing his transgressions, he nervously turned around, facing Zeno again. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you like that. I hope you can forgive me, Lord Zenny. The air grew completely silent again. No noise whatsoever, except this time 3 slaps from Vegeta, Trunks, and Goten. The only reason Beerus didn't immediately speak up was because he was trying to comprehend the utter stupidity that was right before him, and he was debating the way that he was going to kill this Saiyan. However it was, he needed to suffer, but he was interrupted, suddenly, as Zeno started to laugh. You are really funny, Goku. Are you strong like the other one over there, too? Yeah, actually, don't tell him this, but I'm probably a little bit stronger than him, too. Do you want to see? Wow, really? How exciting! Maybe a tournament? I saw you doing one earlier. It looked really fun. Beerus's eyes widened, but he didn't dare speak. He wanted to stop this with every fiber of his being, especially because he didn't know Goku and didn't trust his power whatsoever. If a tournament was going to happen, Zeno probably had some insane rules that he was going to put in place. Probably penalties on their own universe if they lost. Yeah, a tournament sounds really great. Then I could show you everything I've got, Lord Zenny. Zeno cheered with excitement for a little bit of time, and after he calmed down, he produced a button, handing it to Goku. I'm giving you this button because we're friends now. Whenever you press it, I'll appear right in front of you instantly. Goku was really excited about this. So excited, in fact, that he didn't want to wait to see what would happen when he pressed it. So he did. Nothing happened, and Zeno stared down at the button for a little while, and then back up to Goku, and then down at the button again, realizing that he just handed that button to an absolute idiot. It doesn't work if I'm already here. Oh, yeah, I suppose you're right. That's really embarrassing. Zeno decided to take his leave, promising not to forget about the tournament, and with he and the GP gone, Beerus immediately rang into Goku. Zeno's appearance came as a shock to Trunks and Goten, and a sobering reminder that things were going to start to deviate heavily from the original timeline. They had been operating under the belief that the Universe 6 tournament would occur as normal, with the introduction of Zeno following after, which would mean that the invasion of Goku Black wasn't until farther down the road than even that. They were wrong the entire time, and they couldn't help but wonder if Zamasu was indeed watching, somewhere out there, seeing Vegeta's power on display here, and plotting for action. Goku Black and Zamasu were the final threat that they knew of. After that, they had hopped into the time machine and gotten stuck in this timeline. And sure enough, Zamasu had been watching. This entire time, he had witnessed the battle between Beerus and Vegeta, and he was angrily internalizing the rage that came with watching a mortal utilizing God Ki in ways that he never believed a mortal should be able to. But Zamasu's plotting wasn't the only one going on. Deep out in space, under the jurisdiction of the Galactic Patrol, there was a prison that housed the evil wizard Babidi. He had been there for years, plotting his escape, but making no real headway. Despite the frailness of his body, however, he still trudged along, fueled completely by hate. His magical abilities kept him alive pretty well, being a pretty common practice of very powerful wizards. He was already millions of years old. He could stay in this prison as long as he needed to, before he could finally break out again, enacting his revenge along the way against the Galactic Patrol and those on Earth if they happened to still be alive. But, being millions of years old, he had knowledge of other existing wizards, including another one that was trapped right there on the prison with him, Maro. Initially, he was afraid of Maro. Knowing the destruction that he was capable of, he didn't really want to team up with him in any sort of manner, but over time, he realized that it may be his only way to get out. One powerful wizard wasn't enough to break free from the prison, but perhaps 2 would be. Communication wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible. They started to converse more and more often telepathically with each other. They started to hatch a plan together, and those 2 genius minds came up with a flawless strategy to get themselves out of there. They eventually enacted it to complete success, grabbed a ship, and made their way away from the clutches of the Galactic Patrol with relative ease. Back on Earth, the four Saiyans had just made it back, with Beerus demanding they head back to their own planet so that he could have a break from them. Goten and Trunks, however, immediately went into action of their own, heading straight to Gohan to inquire about his training. They found him just outside of Capsule Corporation, and as they started to talk to him, they realized that they were right to be afraid. He had neglected his training this entire time, and was as weak as he would have been when he fought Golden Frieza in their own timeline. Gohan, you need to listen to me. Bad things are about to happen. You need to get back into your training right now. You shouldn't have neglected it at all, but there's still time to pick this up. Gohan was really confused as to why Trunks was drilling into him so hard, but before he could even respond, suddenly, something happened up in the sky. A rift of sorts opened up, and a time machine came popping out of it. The time machine landed and out popped Trunks, who immediately passed out. The three of them quickly went to his aid, but as they were confusedly trying to figure things out, another rift opened up, and out popped a familiar face. But it wasn't Goku. Trunks and Goten had indeed expected that figure, but although it was familiar, it was someone different. It was none other than Vegeta, but clearly dressed in the garb that Goku Black was in. Their suspicions had been correct, but this was even quicker than they had expected. At first, they were also surprised to see that this was Vegeta rather than Goku, but then it dawned on them that he'd only seen Vegeta fight. This was the only powerful person whose body he could take. Trunks and Goten looked to each other and nodded. They realized what they had to do. They had to take out Vegeta Black before he had the chance to go back to the future. That's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. If you like this story, perhaps you'll like this one, where Raditz becomes an android. Go check that out for me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.